What's up, guys? It's Jordan Weber here. Sorry I haven't had a review in a while. Been really busy with schoolwork and stuff, but I'm gonna get back in it. But I have a review about every day from here till the end of May, at least, to catch up on all the albums I've missed this year. Yeah, but let's get right into it. Today we're doing Boosie Badazz, Out of My Feelings in My Past. Dropped earlier this year. The second album that he's dropped this year. He dropped two more since this album. So a lot of Boosie this year. So let's get right into it. So the first song, Problem. This is basically about how hard Boosie is as a gangster. The chorus is somewhat catchy, but other than that, there's nothing really special. It's kind of a simple beat. Not really much substance to talk about in the song. It wasn't the best way to kick off an album, but the album definitely gets better as you go along. The next song, Take 'Em Back. This song is much slower. Instrumental is really soothing, really just calm, and there's a lot more raw emotion than I've heard Boosie display in past projects. He's looking back on his youth, looking back on the things that made him grow as a person. So that was one of my favorite tracks of the album. Definitely. The next song, it's kind of like a tribute to hip hop. OGs and classics like Pimp C, Tupac, Bun B, Jeezy, people like them. And I did appreciate that. I did appreciate Lil Boosie Boosie Badazz kind of, tribute, like giving a tribute to those people that pioneered the culture and the art form that came before him. The only problem I have with this song is that it's full of, I guess, kind of egotistical, not neat, like, I don't know, he's just very egotistical in the song. One of the lines he says is, if Tupac was here, he would coach me, and I don't really see that. I don't believe that that's true. The next song, Choppers and Guns, I was really hard to tell if this song was glamorizing gun violence or kind of preaching against it, about inner city. He definitely talks about inner city violence. I just don't know if he was kind of for being like hard and being a gangster and using guns, or if he was kind of like preaching against it. Really didn't know. Nothing particularly special about this song, really. Just kind of like a banger, a basic song. But the next song, Look at Life Differently, is one of my favorite tracks off the album. I really like the instrumentation. The song is a really heartfelt song about what Boosie's been through his life, like cancer, like jail, just growing up in a really hard childhood. And I definitely really like this song. He takes on multiple characters in describing. He basically just looks at like his life through a bunch of different lenses of different perspectives, and also kind of like parallels his life to a lot of other people's lives that might have been gone through the same thing that he did. The next song, Man. This instrumental is really similar to OG Bobby Johnson. It's the same sound, and I really like that instrumental. I can imagine the chorus in the song being like Vine or Twitter or meme famous, if you will. This song is kind of like a commentary on how like the current generation is really savage, and they're like really hard. Like they're harder than like the generation that he grew up in. Like there's no boundaries to what the young generation will do these days, which isn't necessarily good. Like one of the lines he says, "These '90s babies crazy, but 2000s a little harder." And I can imagine that a lot of that kind of spoiled, entitled, kind of like hard persona is due to the technological advances in the 2000s. So that's just my own commentary on that song. Next song, Got It On Me. This song bumps. Like, this is one of my favorite songs on the album, not because it's about anything like particularly like serious. It's just about money, but it just bangs really hard. And Shike Lizzie's on this track, and he's from the DMV, so I gotta appreciate that. The next song, The Truth. I have mixed feelings on this song. Basically, the song is all about conspiracy theories, about he just basically says that the system was set up in a way to put down black people, and that's definitely true. But he points out conspiracy theories. I think 9/11 was mentioned here. He also talks about just like how the police and the prison systems are run intentionally in order to disenfranchise black people. Or the only thing that I don't like about this song is that he switches between topics very awkwardly. Like one time he could talk about like the police, and then he could talk about like gangbangers immediately after that, and it just seemed like really weird transitions. One line I really did like was he said they turn in gangbangers because they like the colors. So he's talking about how like nowadays like people just like join gangs like not because they like want to like be hard or anything, but they just do it for the color. They like, oh, I like blue better than red, so let me join the Crips real quick. I just thought that was pretty funny. The next song, Big Blue Hundreds, instrumental is pretty enjoyable. It's just a really like simple hi-hat banger. I like when the chorus switches up and goes with the beat. And what I mean by that, if you listen to the song, he says like big blue hundreds, and then he goes big blue hundreds, and it's like it goes with the drum pattern. I thought that was really cool. I just really like that. But lyrically, there's not much substance to that song at all. The next song, True. This is really nice and interesting, catchy beat. It uses these synths to drive the melody the entire song. The only thing that I don't like about the song, and it's a very, very big thing that I don't like about it, is that Boosie Badazz's voice is so out of tune. Like he's so bad at singing, and he's not afraid to admit that. Like he shows that he's very, very bad at singing. The problem is he's so out of tune with the synths in the background that drive the melody that it just gets annoying and like it's really obnoxious. Also, this song's about like a girl that he fell in love with, but it's just very hard to like take the song seriously because he's talking about this like 15-year-old relationship. Like he says like the girl was 15 and then we had our first baby and then this happened and now I'm heartbroken. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I guess people go through relationship struggles when they're 15, but they don't seem that serious at that point. I feel like if he was like 25 and like he was going through this stuff, or like 30, I'd understand and I'd take it seriously. But it's just really hard to do that with a 15-year-old relationship. The next song, Wanna Be Heard. This is probably my favorite one. Well, this is probably one of the two favorite songs off the album. It's the most genuine and emotional song off the album. It's definitely talking about how gangbangers like they're emotional too. Like they're not like some other species. Like they're human beings too, and they feel some of the same stuff that we do. And oftentimes we want to push them to the side and just like make them some other entity, and like they don't feel the stuff that we do, but they actually do. And that's what this whole song is about. He basically says that gangbangers like they want to be heard. Like no one wants to like join a gang and like kill people, but like it kind of happens because we don't give them a voice to like speak out against that. So I really like that song. It was also a really good feature from Slim Thug, who I don't usually like. I didn't like either of his Hog Life albums from last year, but I thought his feature on here was pretty good. The next song, World War VI, is another one of my favorites. This song is about violence, from police brutality to gangbanging, and this song is kind of like a microcosm of the entire album. I think Boosie has a really good balanced kind of view of society, and I really admire that about him. Like that's one of the like biggest things I like about him is that he addresses police brutality like a lot of other rappers do, but he also in like simultaneously in the same album and even in the same song like this one will talk about gangbanging and like how both sides have to take personal responsibility to do what they're supposed to do and agree with the social contract and perform their lives in an ethical way. And I really like that. This song bangs too. The beat is tough. The only thing that sucks about it is that I wish this song wasn't like a serious, conscious song because it bangs so hard that I feel bad if I like bump it because it's like, it's about violence. Like I don't know. The next song, BG-ish. This song is really bass heavy, which is pretty cool, but I wasn't really sure what it was about. Like I have no idea what the title means, and I don't know. There wasn't much to comment on with the lyrics. I did like the feature on here. His flow was really nice. The only thing is I don't know who it was because I couldn't find the lyrics online for a lot of these songs. So therefore I couldn't find who was featured on it. But he was pretty good. The next song, Uncle Tone. This song is really short. It's basically about Uncle Toms and how like basically like, there are blacks in this country who try to put down white people or try to put down black people in order to get promoted by the white man. The only complaint I have with this song is that like he basically like named it Uncle Tone instead of Uncle Tom, and I didn't really get that. But the song itself is pretty good. It's one of my favorites. The next song, Park It Lil Bit. It's kind of like a basic hi-hat instrumental, nothing too special with the beat here. The chorus is obnoxious and annoying. It's really messy too. It's almost like they didn't like line up their vocals, so it's just really messy. There's a feature from Sauce Walka, and his feature is so much better than Boosie's verse on the song. It's ridiculous. The next song, All That Mixed in One, is basically just like braggadocious, saying how good Boosie is. He name drops so many rappers and basically says like he's a combination of all of them, which I don't necessarily agree with. The next song, New School, Old School, this kind of goes along with the song Man, in that he's talking about this current generation and how like they're actually really unloyal. Like they're savage, but once they get to jail or once they're faced with prison, they'll snitch on the other person like right away. It's basically saying like they're savage, but they're not as loyal as the kids in my generation were. The last song, Who Finished, this basically all about how like Boosie, despite going to jail and despite having cancer, he stayed true to himself. Isn't like finishing like his art form. Like he's still gonna try to like make music and stuff, which I admire a lot. The second verse, the flow was a lot better than the first one, but this song wasn't that great in general. I did like this song. I did like the fact that the song was at the end, because it's like, I'm not finished, but like you are, because you just finished the album. I thought that was pretty clever. So in general, I give this album a 6 out of 10. Definitely a lot better than all of the other Boosie projects I've heard before. My favorite songs are Take 'Em Back, Look at Life Differently, Got It On Me, Wanna Be Heard, World War VI, and Uncle Tone. So that's it for this review. Let me know what you guys think of the album. Alright, peace out.